Oh, and try to look at me.
Okay.
With the camera. So I guess first off, when exactly did New Albany legalize wine and beer?
April 15th was the startup date, actually. It was legalized in a early March vote, and the board set the date for April 15th. That's when we started selling it.
So, when did stores in the county, I guess, or restaurants, is there kind of a different, do restaurants have to apply for their license first? And
Well,
then
anybody that wants to sell it has to apply for a license through the state. And then the state will contact us, most of our police department, just to make sure they're okay, you know, or hadn't got any criminal background. And then the state issues a license. And once the state issues, then they come here.
Yes,
and we issue a basically all our licenses are a privilege license, which any business has to do whether they sell alcohol or not. But that's the only thing they get from us, is privilege.
So, I guess in your opinion, how do you think that it's helped the community?
Probably more tax money. It's hard to tell because our sales tax have been up even before we started selling alcohol. The 15th of April, they were up January, February, and March some. But I mean, it can't help but help the sales tax because I think we're probably getting somewhere between $8,000 and $15,000 a month sales tax off of the sale of the beer and light wine.
So, I guess I know there have been kind of a hard fought effort of the county trying to not, or against it, I guess you could say. How did you have to intercept any of that?
No, I have nothing to do with it other than just a voting citizen. The way it works, we have a petition brought to us, and our city clerk looks over the petition and makes sure it's got the amount of voters on it it's supposed to have, which was 1,200. So they had to have 1,200 signatures to bring it to a vote. And once that was established, then the board had to set a date for the election. And once the board set the date, of course it passed, then the board set a date for it to start selling, which was April 15th.
So I actually read when New Albany was in the New York Times about how William Faulkner would have been proud.
Right.
I guess kind of on a more humorous standpoint, what do you think he would think about his fine little homestead finally being able to serve?
Probably he wouldn't believe it, to be honest with you. As a lot of people did, you know, it did come to vote countywide to start with, and the county voted it down, and then citywide a couple months after that, and the inside the city limits voted it in, of course. But yeah, I think he was for it when he was here. Well, he was born here, but when he lived in Oxford, I think he would have been for it here. So I think he would have been as surprised as a lot of people were.
Well, I guess last question, what do you kind of foresee in the future, like in the long run? Don't you think, or I think it would probably, the people that were against it to begin with, see how well it's helping the community.
Yeah, it hadn't caused any problems. I even talked to the police chief a couple of weeks ago, and they don't see any more or less drinking and driving than they did before it was, before we became wet. So it hadn't caused any problems at all. And I think people are beginning to relax with the idea that we're wet now. They're kind of, I don't know if they're accepting it, but they're more relaxed about it, I guess.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're so welcome.
You answered pretty much everything I needed.
Well, good.